laws are changing about child support, and here's everything that you need to know. Right now it's just in the talks, but what are your thoughts? They're trying to get it required for every single time that a person is asking for child support, a DNA test is done. Doesn't matter if that's a man being charged child support or a woman being charged child support. They are required to take a DNA test to ensure that they are that child's parent. Now, how do we feel about that? Because I'm not sure. I see where the states are because some people have been charged incorrectly. Some people have came back 10 years later and said, hey, this isn't my child due to a DNA test done 10 years after the fact. So I do see that, and I do see how that could help cover the states behind. I do see where it's going to cause some kids some trauma, because what if they find out then? But then what if it saves people money? I'm like on the fence. I keep going back and forth between like if I think this is a good thing, if I think it's a bad thing. It's just in the talks right now. It's nothing official. It's just rumor around the law firms in my area. So when I heard it, I was like, man, I gotta go see how everyone else feels about it. What do we think? Should this be on the ballot or not? Should this be required? I know how I feel. How do you feel?
DNA seems like common sense to me. You only wouldn't want it if you got secrets. My ex-husband was court-ordered 3 times. After that, they said you're stuck with the payment. It's been 2 years. Should be a requirement. Can you imagine the surprise when the DNA test comes back and it comes back as neither one is the parent? I think it would be a good idea, as it would bring fairness to the whole thing, preventing those who aren't the father from paying child support for someone else's child. We have all seen those cases where guys ended up paying child support for years, for a child they didn't know wasn't theirs. The sad part is that in some cases, they ended up losing their license, or even getting into more serious issues because of that payment, not knowing they shouldn't even be involved in this drama in the first place, as it's not even their child, and this is what hurts the most. I've seen some women in the comments saying they disagree with it, claiming that it would negatively affect many families, and I understand where they are coming from. But we also need to consider the other people involved. First, the guy who doesn't know he's raising someone else's child, and the guy who probably doesn't even know he has a child, and consequently won't be able to spend time with them. This is the other side of it that many don't think about. A child has the right to know who their real father is, and a man who has nothing to do with that child shouldn't be financially responsible for them. That's why this new change would bring a certain level of fairness to everyone involved.
One thing that baffles me in this life is why men go ahead to do DNA test for you. Like, I don't understand. Why are you guys doing DNA test? What if it was a mistake? What if she does not love him? It's you she loves. What if it was just a one-time thing?
Thank you very much, my sister. Thank you very much. This is what I've been telling men. This is what I've been telling my gender. Why are you doing DNA test? Because truly, it could have been a mistake. Listen, I know women. Women are good people. A woman would not just cheat on you. You probably gave her reasons to. Maybe you were not there for her. Maybe you were not there. You were probably busy with work, trying to cater for the family. And, of course, maybe she dated 5 of you, and when she got pregnant, she had to pin it on the most successful guy, which is you. Bro, you're the most successful guy. Okay, fine. Maybe others rejected the pregnancy, but, you took responsibility, which means you're a responsible man. You're a responsible man. That is enough consolation. Listen, the child may not be yours, but at least the child calls you daddy. That should be enough. That should be enough. Plus, if you look well, like close one eye like this, look very well. Look closely. You go see, say, the pikin left ear, this side like this, resemble your own. That's just enough.
I took the DNA test by mistake, and she is in her father's house by mistake. What if the baby was swapped in the hospital? It happens. And allow me to do DNA by mistake. I will ask my lawyer to prepare a divorce paper by mistake. I'm watching this video by mistake. I hope you guys noticed that he was joking, as for the woman who made that comment. This is the only thing she can't say in this type of situation. You can't talk about mistakes and still claim that you love your husband when you decide to do something like this. The funny part is that usually those who already know there's a possibility that the child might not be his are the first to create drama when the guy asks for a DNA test. That's just a strategy to make him give up, so the truth doesn't come out. And many of us have seen that play out before. In my opinion, Anyone who has a valid reason to doubt should get the clarification they need, because if they don't, that thought will remain stuck at the back of their heads, and over time, it will start to negatively affect the relationship. It's not about being suspicious for no reason. It's about having peace of mind and knowing where they stand. Also, since she said it could be a mistake, then she shouldn't have to worry about the DNA test, because it's also going to be a mistake. It's that simple. She can't be upset about it because, just like she said, it wasn't intentional.
The trending topic is getting a DNA test even if you're married. Men believe that if your wife have a baby or your girl has a baby, you have the automatic right that that DNA test should be done as soon as that baby is born. Me personally, I ain't got a problem with it because I understand how the world works and there are some grimy people out there, right? And I know some women are gonna be like, oh my God, that's so rude. How dare you question my loyalty? I've been loyal to you this entire time. First off, the same way women go through things and women want men to respect that, why can't y'all respect it and understand that men go through things? And this is one of those where a woman will say he's the father when he really isn't. And now this dude wasted 10 years raising a child that's not his. And now the correlation I'm about to make is crazy and wild, but it makes sense in my little head. If you believe you should go through your partner's phone, as a woman, if you think, hey, if I'm in a relationship with you, I should be able to check that phone whenever I want. I think as a man, that man should be able to DNA test that baby, married, not married, whatever it is, as soon as it's born.
When it comes to this subject, I think anyone who has reason to doubt should do it. It will be in the best interest of both.
I don't care how loyal you are, because that man could be just as loyal and never be cheating. But since you have that curiosity and you want him to respect that, so he gives you access to that phone, that man should be able to get a DNA test on a baby, no matter how loyal you've been.
What he said made sense, and I think nobody should have any issues with those statements. If a guy has some doubts and just wants that assurance, it would actually be in his wife's best interest to embrace it. It would prevent unnecessary drama later in the relationship. If this simple step can help solve future misunderstandings, then why not? I know some women often disagree with it, as it implies that they've been unfaithful, but if he had reason to doubt, it can't be ignored. They should acknowledge that this kind of situation does happen, and it's not as rare as people think. There have been cases where guys unknowingly raised kids that weren't theirs, and in the long run, the truth came out in the most painful way. That kind of discovery could have been avoided if things were clarified earlier.
My point is, if she makes the decision to leave, she should pay for it. If you want to leave, that's totally fine, but you should pay to raise your kid.
Is it not his child as well?
And he should pay for the time. That's why I said 50-50 custody off the bat, no child support, no alimony.
So she gets to take on all of the child care responsibilities, but he doesn't have to pay anything. He doesn't have to have any buy-in.
I didn't say all, I said 50-50 custody. He should have the kid half the time.
But doesn't have to pay any money towards it.
No, he should pay for the kid when the kid's at his house.
Okay, and so the majority of the time when the kid is at the mother's house, he doesn't have to be involved in any way financially?
No, she should pay for it. She has a job. Why should he have to pay for a kid?
He should support it.
If she chose to have the kid and she chooses divorce, why should she not have to pay for her own decision? That's the thing. See, there it is. You want all the freedom to do whatever you want, but you don't want to have to pay for it.
What is the part of shared custody equally that she didn't understand? Why would a guy still be required to pay for the expenses when the child is with the other parent if both spend the same amount of time with the child? She was so focused on the idea of child support that she completely missed Pearl's point. Pearl clearly said they would split custody equally, and that each parent would take care of the child's expenses when the child was with them. That seems like a fair approach because both sides would have equal responsibility and involvement. It seems like she doesn't really understand the purpose of child support and when it should be paid. From her explanation, it sounded like the father should always be the one paying regardless of the arrangement, and that's probably why she couldn't understand where Pearl was coming from. She kept repeating that everything would be shared equally. So in that situation, the mother shouldn't expect to get any payment. Yet that woman wasn't accepting it. All she could focus on was the assumption that her child's father must make some payment no matter what.
Kids have not eaten in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids.
Trump done cut them food stamps off.
Oh, they say $2 million is getting cut off this month for the scamps. I'm about to go find out if I'm in that number. in that ratio.
It's been day 5 and I have not received no food stamps. My disability checks is on hold. My cash benefits is not coming no more. They're still pending. It is the taxpayer's job to pay for my kids to eat and for my kids to be taken care of. I have over 2,000 followers on TikTok and I can't get not one person to send me 50 cents. If you're watching a video and you can't send me nothing, I'm blocking you.
Yeah, it's a tough situation to be in. Yes, some people do need help while others been taking advantage of the system. What are your thoughts on this situation?
The first woman in the video is completely wrong. It's not the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of her child. Everyone faces challenges at different stages in life, but expecting others to permanently take your responsibilities doesn't make sense. This system was created to temporarily help those in difficult situations, not to become their lifelong source of income. The thing with social services is that some people don't understand that it's not meant to be their permanent income. Somewhere along the line, it turned into something many now feel entitled to. Instead of seeing it as a helping hand, some see it as a guarantee, and that's where the problem starts. Those taxpayers also have their own bills to pay, and they are working hard for their money, so she should also do the same. It's not anyone's responsibility to raise her kids, but hers. If everyone decided to think the same way and depend on the system instead of contributing to it, there would be no taxpayers left to fund those programs.